In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to deal an infinite amount of damage in hypixel skyblock. So the two main things you're going to be wanting in order to deal infinite damage is a Venom's Touch with a Rend 5 and a Soul's Rebound. So if we look at the ability of Rend, we can see that it grants your bow a left click ability that rips out the arrows from nearby enemies and deals 25% of your last critical hit for every arrow in the target with a 2-second cooldown. So what you want to do first is get a few hits in with your weapon to set a critical hit. Then you want to float above the dummy, spam it with arrows, wait for the arrows to disappear, then hit it with the Soul's Rebound, and use the Venom's Touch ability. And that deals 600k damage. And then if you repeat, spam more arrows, wait for them to disappear, and then once they disappear, shoot the Soul's Rebound, and use Rend again. That does 2.7 million damage. Wait for the arrows to disappear, Soul's Rebound, Rend, 11 million damage. So as you can see, it deals a lot more damage every time you do it. Soul's Rebound, Rend, and 45 million damage, so we just did 4 times the damage in a single hit. Now let's move on to some real damage testing. Now using the ability on dummies is nice and all, but its real applications come in dungeons. So if we start at the dungeon, you notice that I'm using the Berserker class, mainly because of Bloodlust and Lust for Blood. Because if we take a look at those bonuses, we can see that they help you do a lot more damage, especially on a single target. And for this strategy, you can't use Archer because it sends an extra arrow that will always do a critical hit, and that messes up Rend. So, starting out, run out, you have to clear the room first, and once you have one monster left, you can fill it up with arrows, and Rend, and boom, 42 million damage right off the bat. We'll try it again in this next room. And then when you need to clear, you can just use a Hyperion, because that doesn't actually do a critical hit, because it's magic damage. At this point, once you got the first Rend hit, you can swap to any armor that you like. So I'm going to swap to my tank gear for extra EHP. When you're using Rend, you have to be careful not to fully pull back your bow, because that will deal a critical hit. Now if we wait, 919 million damage, which is absolutely insane. Now charging up the shot, and Rend, you can see that we just did bit integer limit damage there. But if you really want to one-tap the bosses, you want to keep going past bit integer limit, because they'll have a lot of defense and a lot of health. So moving on to the Blood Room, I think the amount of Rend that we have charged up should be enough to one-tap every single mob in the Blood Room. Just fill them up with arrows, and as you can see, we one-tapped almost every monster in the Blood Room. Might have missed a few, and didn't hit them with the arrows. So now that Blood Room is cleared, I need to go reset my Rend damage before the boss fight. Now that we're in the boss room and we have our Rend damage charged up, we just need to aggro each of the golems. Now we just fill them up with arrows, and use Rend. And as you can see, we one-tapped every single golem. So in conclusion, this build is really good for high damage against mini-bosses or bosses like high single target damage. It is kind of finicky though, so you might have to mess with it a bit before you can really get the technique down. But with that being said, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.